What up? All my scientists, my artists, my philosophers, my geneticists, my roboticists, my biologists, my archaeologists, my astronomers. Let's get busy.
Look at this dude.
This has been Busy from the Burbs.
3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Busy from the Burbs, broadcasting to you from Osaka, Japan. I am joined by my co-hosts today, XJ, Trailer Park Master Chef Alan Moore, and Coleman Harrelson. The man with two last names is his first and his last name.
Hello, praise.
Hello.
How's everyone doing today? Harrelson, I haven't seen you in a good long while. How you been, man?
Couple of years. Good.
It's been a fucking minute, huh? Time goes
Living
quick,
the
man.
dream, 2000 and something.
Living the
that-
dream in 2015.
How's that sexy body of yours?
Oh, fucking nice and flabby and soft.
Nice.
Shaped like an eggplant.
Is it wet?
Yeah, Asian like
That's
milk,
that good
baby.
shit.
Asian like milk.
That's that good shit.
Zanish, what's up, man?
Not much. So, I was listening to Dan Carlin's Common Sense the other day, and he had something.
Dan Carlin is, for those who don't know.
Right, he's the guy who has the Hardcore History podcast.
Yeah.
Good shit, by the way.
I'm getting echoes in somebody's background.
Who's echoing?
It's got to be
Harrelson
Coleman,
and his
because it-
fucking
Harrelson,
suit,
goddammit, put a pair of headphones in.
I did.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, god damn it! I forgot
Another,
my headphones.
another thing said by a demonic Furby possessing a real doll.
Yeah, that's what I was imitating just now. That was just the demonic Furby, though. No real doll. It was mistitled.
Right.
People
Google
forgot.
was being a dick.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the show mascot, isn't it? It's just gonna happen. like if we ever made any money off this, we would just dump it all into the real doll with the Furby.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we
It's
would
like-
dress it up like one of us,
Right.
so that we could all fuck it.
have to be dressed up like me, because I am definitely the sexiest fucking sex beefcake here.
Well, I don't know what Zanish looks like, but you're probably the skinniest.
My dick's not skinny.
Got that fat meat. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So back to Dan
Getting
Carlin. I
real
guess.
Anyway, Dan
homoerotic
Carlin.
real quick.
Keep it moving.
Okay, so basically he said that absolutely nothing about the Paris attack was incidental. So ISIS was attempting to stop refugees from streaming into France by having refugees commit the attacks, which is actually really fucking clever if you think about it.
Which is actually not what happened at all. And
Is that not what happened?
yeah,
Because
they
that's
were
what he
not
said.
Syrian refugees. These were Belgian and French citizens who were radicalized Muslims.
yeah, they were like bragging
Interesting.
about how easy it was for them to travel back and forth and train ISIS.
And I don't think
train
ISIS is
troops.
smart enough to hatch a plan like that. They're
Yeah.
basically like the evil terrorist version of Anonymous. Like
They think the Earth is flat, bro.
if Anonymous has any command and control or any system of logistics, I would be surprised.
I don't know. Have you heard anything about their monthly newsletter that they put out?
They
Yeah,
do
I don't
have
know.
yeah.
Does it
that's
have
true.
coupons?
I mean,
in it?
they're not as stupid as you think. They put out a full color, very well put together monthly newsletter. It's more of a magazine,
Yeah.
and they're up on current affairs. They follow American politicians often in the magazine. They use, I think one of the latest ones I read, they were talking about the GOP debates in the magazine and using quotes. I mean,
Interesting.
obviously twisting them. Like, I don't think they're as stupid as. I think they're going for that North Korea thing. Like, oh yeah, they're so dumb.
Except they're
I
not
think
keeping
that's-
to themselves.
Is
They're
your
just
I
mic
think that's what
rubbing
they
against
want.
your beard, Harry?
Yeah. It sounds like it.
What the fuck do you want me to do? Curl over in the fetal position on the floor with my mic free floating
Yes.
in space while I cut
If
my
that'll
balls,
make you,
Yes.
finger my ass, and
if
talk
that'll
to
make
you?
your mic, if that'll make your fucking mic quiet, then go ahead and get that finger up there.
Exactly.
It's gonna have to be the thumb.
About Anonymous, Ben.
Yeah.
There's the how or stuff you should know or how stuff works. Did one on Anonymous,
hmm
and most of it is free flowing, like loose affiliation. But I guess there's like a core group of 5 or 6 original people
Hmm.
who still direct everything.
Really?
But it's like a collective sort of
I'm not
deal-
saying
Talking about
that.
Anonymous as a whole?
I'm not saying that
No,
ISIS.
like the core inner like mind behind Anonymous is like this group of 5 or 6 people who've been there since the
Yeah.
beginning.
I'm not
Right.
saying that
Doubt
Basically, they're the Illuminati. Got it.
ISIS has sophisticated members, obviously, but I don't think that they're anywhere near the level of organization and sophistication as, Al Qaeda.
Well, that's what
Even.
I was about to
No.
ask.
Well, most
like-
of the stuff they're transmitting seems to be, all the stuff that's open air. They're probably not talking about actual plans on the real internet. Like I've actually like going through the dark web, you'll stumble across nodes randomly where you won't really realize what you're clicking on because a lot of those addresses and stuff are blank. So you'll click on a link and you'll end up at it, and it
You'll be
ends
like,
up
"Whoa,
being an
child
ISIS.
porn,
Yeah, it's an
that's
ISIS site. They're
horrible."
like asking for donations, or they're trading in some sort of cryptocurrency that they've generated just so they can like take donations.
I heard that a lot of the communications for the Paris attacks were coordinated through the PlayStation Network, and I wondered, well, does that make the Lizard Squad I saw this post, some contributor to Wired. Does that make Lizard Squad the team that took down the PlayStation Network kind of like an anti-ISIS force?
Indirectly, maybe.
Weird.
But I don't-
Does that make
maybe
So-
they
Dan,
did it for that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if Dan Carlin's retracting that whole narrative then.
I think that it was early on in the podcast. It was breaking news. I listened to that same one. That was on his not hardcore
Right. So
history.
you definitely heard him say exactly what I
Yeah.
said, right? I'm
Yeah, I
not,
did.
like imagining it.
No. He said it, but it was more in speculation as the news was just breaking, literally.
Right.
Then when he was recording the podcast. But
So
But yeah, those guys were like from like Belgium and shit. They had
yeah,
Right.
nothing to really do with actual Syrian refugees.
no, they had
Apparently
French passports and
Well-
Belgian passports and shit.
right. So like they would have at least tried to pose as Syrian refugees if that was their. Well, here's the thing though. Did they need to be Syrian refugees for it to have that effect of
Well-
France stopping Syrian refugees from coming in? Because now the United States is questioning whether or not we want to allow that too, right? Even though
I think the United
that's-
States just assumes that if somebody is a Muslim brown person, that they're a Syrian
Right.
refugee and that they're also in ISIS.
If you're
It's
if you're
that
a Trump
sweeping
supporter.
generalization
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
See, that's the weird thing is that Christianity is the only religion it seems like that doesn't have just like that's not like racially attached to one group the way other religions seem to be.
Mhm.
Like because I would
Yeah.
say there's like what like 1.8 billion Muslims or something like that, 1.6,
Mhm.
maybe even
It's
2.
1.8. It's 1.8.
But like more than half of them are Asian, aren't they? Like
Yeah,
Southeast
Indonesians.
Asia
Yeah.
and Indonesia, right? And so, but
you don't
it's
see
like
a lot of
whenever-
Indonesian ISIS yet.
right.
Yeah,
that's
they're
the thing.
more of a moderate
Right.
sect of Sunni Islam.
Right,
Mhm.
that's the weird thing though. People are like, "Oh my god, they're like, there's so many ISIS sympathizers." Like, you don't think that they're all collaborating with ISIS? I'm like, if you're right about if you're right about moderate Muslims being like secretly pro-terrorist, then why does ISIS only have 100,000 members out of
Right.
1.8 million people?
Yeah, no, that whole
Yeah.
narrative of like, we should shut down the borders to all immigrants and like every Muslim is a potential terrorist is just fear mongering bullshit. We know it.
But
This
the
is what's coming out of the Trump camp.
I know that's what I
Basically,
was about to say. The
Yeah.
front runner for the presidency is spouting this shit. I mean, it's like, is Bill O'Reilly writing a script right now?
Dude, and the
know.
worst part is when they fucking interview people about it, especially ones like outside of Trump
Oh,
rallies. They'll be
God,
like,
yeah.
do you think that this is going to make you less likely to vote for Trump or more likely? They're like, I'm going to be more likely to vote for him now. And then they look at this dude's wife who like clearly like her teeth are all fucked up, which I'm not saying that indicates her intelligence, but her genetics just might not be all there. You know what I'm saying?
She looks
So,
like the baby from
she
the
just looks
dinosaurs show.
confused, and she's like camera and
Not
my
the
husband.
mama.
So I agree with him 100%. Everything
right.
he's saying, like, yeah, we don't want them damn Muslims here. Like, motherfucker, you've never left your like 300 person town.
Right.
Right?
Well, you don't really have any room to make
Right.
fucking decisions or
Harrelson,
have any factual basis to form an opinion for that matter.
Harrelson, do you encounter a lot of Trump supporters in your area, being that you are you reside in Georgia?
I, off the top of my head, can think of one.
Just one? That's
I mean,
because
most of the people that I'm surrounded by are Bernie supporters.
Yeah.
But there's this one kid that was in my chemistry class who's a complete tool and always wore his Trump shirt.
Oh my
and
God.
literally,
I bet he
couldn't
never
give you a
gets
reason.
pussy.
I
Yeah.
would say though,
He's boffing
I
it.
mean, off that thing of like what you were saying about the news, and they get this, random hillbilly fuck couple. That's by design.
Yeah.
That's by design. They do that on purpose.
They're just doing it to make it look like
it's
people
like
are
when
all
something
about Trump.
Yeah, it's like when something happens in a neighborhood, they don't go ask the 1,500 sane people that are standing around what happened. They find,
The most ratchet person.
Billy Joe, dumb fuck, never graduated
Yeehaw.
kindergarten, and is sitting there smoking a joint. And they're like, "Can you put the joint down and just answer some questions real quick?"
He's like, well,
And,
I'll answer some goddamn questions, but I ain't putting my
he's like-
fucking joint down. This is goddamn America.
He's like, "Yeah, I'll answer some questions. Fuck her right in the pussy," and runs off. I mean, that's
Is he holding a joint though? Because that would mean that he's somewhat progressive in his thinking. He'd probably be holding a bottle of moonshine or something, right?
You'd be surprised at how many fucking conservative Southern people smoke pot.
Yeehaw.
It's down here. It's like normal.
Can I get
You'll
a
see-
yeehaw?
Yeehaw.
Thank you, yeehaw.
the people that really, from what I can tell, the people that really support Trump are not. It's not demographically based or geologically based. It's fucking
Geographically.
rich people. Rich people love Trump
Mm-hmm.
because he's a rich guy. They understand his struggle of his small loan of $1 million. They get it. They know he's going to get in office and protect their interests.
Yeehaw.
Because
Here's the thing. What's funny about that too is that Trump got that $1 million loan, right? They're like, well, he turned $1 million into a couple billion. I'm like, yeah, but he went bankrupt 4 times before he got to that point. So like, how many hedge fund managers did he have running his money? Do you really think he made those financial decisions? Like,
He's scheming
or did
his
he
way
just
to the
pay
top.
somebody to
Is-
fucking make them for him?
Zane,
Because I know
is-
that's what I
No,
would.
Can I
Zane-
interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Zanish.
Like this, I have to sidetrack this argument for a minute because I'm
Go.
reading most dumbfounding shit.
Sidetrack.
So in the middle of this whole like free media frenzy that Donald Trump's getting,
Yeah.
he fucking went on Alex Jones, where Alex Jones like just completely sucked up to him and said that like Trump's the best thing ever.
Are you fucking serious? Are you
Yup, it's like
fucking
all
serious?
over Infowars. Because I was thinking when you guys were talking about
Shut
that.
the fuck up. That's not true.
No, it is right here. Infowars.com.
He's a
Alex
troll.
Jones defends Donald Trump. This real
Shut
American
the
hero
f-
supports Donald Trump. Donald Trump tells all on Alex Jones show, and this is
Oh,
this.
no.
This is
Oh
from
my
days-
god. Are you fucking serious? It's
Oh my God! Trump
metastasizing.
went on. Oh fuck! I gotta
Oh, right
listen
here.
to this fucking shit.
Infowars. Trump exposed how the Bush family helped Bin Laden's escape after 9/11. What
Whoa.
Trump is
What
the
about
fucking
Saudi
McCarthy.
Arabia?
It's complete McCarthyism. This guy,
Alex Jones
Trump
here.
just gets up on fucking stage and says random ridiculous shit.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
it.
It's
He just
scary
points
shit.
his finger in a dark corner that he has no idea what's in it, and he says Muslim terrorist, and then he points in another corner and goes Bush conspiracy, and then he points in another corner and goes Mexicans are rapists.
Is this the Fourth Reich? Are we
Make America
witnessing the
strong.
emergence of the Fourth Reich?
I wanna
Yeah,
take a
and then
think so.
he just sums it all up at the end by saying I'm gonna make America great again. It's like
that's the same thing as like
It's like a
the
fucking
Republican
umbrella.
answer to Obama's like change fucking rally.
What do you
So
think
now
is the
instead
potential?
of like we're gonna have change, it's we're gonna make America strong again.
Do you think there's a potential for like actually some pretty heinous acts of violence to emerge as a result of a Trump candidacy? Like, could
Absolutely.
we really be looking at like some type of 1939, 1937 Nazi Germany?
You've
type-
seen streaks of it
No.
already. You've seen
But I
streaks of it
don't-
already at his rallies, where like you have like minorities, like Mexican immigrants who are here as workers who will go to his rallies to confront him. I'm sure not in a bad way. It's like a positive way of confronting him. And they show up to his rallies. They barely get into the crowd, and like dudes are getting punches thrown at them and spit in their
Yeah,
face. and shit.
Zanish, you say no.
Yeah, because what's gonna happen is that if Donald Trump wins the nomination, his narrative's gonna change. Because if it doesn't, Hillary Clinton is gonna slice him up so hard.
Someone's gonna
so
fucking
fast,
someone's gonna
Yep.
fucking smashing machine the dude.
right. Like I've
I
said this before.
refuse to believe that Hillary Clinton's gonna win
Yeah, me too.
the candidacy.
She has too much money.
She owns the DNC, but that doesn't mean that she can convince, millions of Americans who are with Bernie to like change their vote. Like, she's totally engineering this appearance that she is the incumbent. I said it on Facebook. It's weird to have, for the first time ever, a candidate who appears as an incumbent who has never won the election in question.
Well, I mean, she's a half incumbent with her husband.
I see. What you're saying.
like legacy. Here's the thing,
Yeah.
though. If you look at history, the incumbent party almost always wins the presidency when the economy is doing good after FDR.
So what
Can
does
I
that
say
mean?
something? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Well,
go ahead.
I want to take a quick poll here. Which endorsement do you think is more damning for Donald Trump, Alex Jones or Vladimir Putin?
Oh, Vladimir Putin. It's so fucked up. You have these two people. What kind of person is this? He's like such an anomaly.
No, I'm gonna
Not
go
enough
against
people
the
know
grain
about
here.
Alex
I'm gonna
Jones.
go against the grain here. Yeah, I'm gonna take that point for sure. Not enough
Alex
people know
Jones?
who that is, but the people that like Trump are the people that are going around saying if Obama was as tough as Putin or if Obama handled
right.
terrorists like Putin. So I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna say that a Putin endorsement of Trump is good for Trump. Because
For some
his
people.
supporters are the stupid fucking idiots that'll take that as a good thing.
Here's the thing,
Yeah.
though, is that I think that Donald Trump will get exposed in debates, like at the national level with Hillary. Like, say what you want about Hillary, she, like I've said this before, she is like a grandmaster black belt politician who can make things
Yeah.
like whitewater and her support of the Iraq War just disappear in the emails in Benghazi. None of it matters because she's like that good at being manipulative.
She could
Yeah,
just
but
be 9/11.
have you watched any of the GOP debates? And when people try and attack Trump, the dude's made of fucking baby oil and Vaseline. It just slides right off him. He doesn't care. He doesn't even respond. He doesn't have to. He just sits there and
Says
goes
something.
He just gets snarky and the crowd cheers.
Yeah.
I don't think that works
Yeah.
with the moderate voter, the swing voters, though. I don't think it plays with
the
them.
crowd cheers when he gets out of the debate. See, those debates are populated mostly, I think, evenly between the candidate's supporters in the audience. So you'll get a lot of fucking jeering against Trump, but then once he hits, general population, all bets are off again, and he's fucking king shit. Can do no wrong.
I
I
want
have
to
not heard a
see
good
Trump
quote from
and
Trump.
Bernie debate.
Oh, it would be like Darth Vader versus
Because
fucking
Bernie's
Obi-Wan
gonna try to
Kenobi.
attack him, or Trump's gonna try and attack Bernie, and Bernie just wouldn't. Bernie just sit there and hit him with calm, cool, collected knowledge, and it
He's
wouldn't.
just gonna
I don't think it
Donkey
would
Kong
phase him at
him.
all.
He would Donkey Kong him. Like,
Brooklyn
he would
versus
look like
Queens,
such
Nick.
fucking idiot. Because you have a guy who's presenting factual information. He has a strong political history. He's been in Congress. He's already looked at a fucking other Democratic candidate and been like, hey, when you have 20 years on Congress, we can fucking talk. Like, in the middle of a debate, he said that to a fucking dude. So, like, I can't even imagine where he would head off with Trump. And, like, I'm sure Trump would sit there and try to fucking dust it off his back. But if you have these two dudes one-on-one for 3 hours, you can only really fucking dust that shit off too many times before all you can say now is you're going to make America strong while Bernie's just fucking headbutting you in the nose repeatedly.
He's just dismantling you. That's
Hey,
what he-
So one
Ben,
thing though,
And that
Man,
he's kind of
when
like a
you
Ron
posted
Paul
that-
character. 'Cause
Zan-
that's what Ron
Zanish,
Paul
what do you
used to
got?
do.
well, I'm gonna say this: if Donald Trump loses the first primary, which he may, because he's not winning, I believe it's Iowa's the first one, and I
He's
think
up to
losing,
38% right now. He's like climbing quickly.
like
in
nationally.
Iowa.
Yeah.
I think
no,
it's
he's
'cause he-
nationally. He's pulling 38%.
No, in Iowa he's losing by like 7 or 8 points, I think.
Yeah,
And
Cruz
that's the
is
first.
winning
and what
Iowa, isn't
happens is, no, I think what's his name there? Cruz is actually winning Iowa.
Yeah.
Last time I looked at Real Clear Politics, I
But
can look
that's
that up.
not going to stop the Trump mobile. I mean, it's going to take a lot more than losing
But,
one state.
but historically, like the Republicans, like flee from the national front runner if he loses Iowa. So that's something to consider. 1 second here.
There are
Iowa.
some polls that show Trump is winning in Iowa. Others that say he's not. Right now, the average is 26.4 points to Cruz and 25.4 to Trump.
Oh, shit.
How old? But like the ones that I'm looking at from today, Trump doesn't seem to be winning any of them. Hold on.
No, I see he's winning the PPPD, whatever that is. Anyway, like if he doesn't win Iowa, it doesn't mean that he's gonna, pull out of the GOP.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm saying that like the voters in subsequent primaries tend to like bail on Republican candidates who lose Iowa.
Oh, really? That's historically kind of a norm.
From what I remember, yeah.
Well,
Is
he
that
would
just
run
like a
third party.
statistical thing, or is there like a reason behind that?
I'm not sure.
He would
That might be
run
some
third
deep
party
campaign shit.
or start his own party.
Well, if Trump runs third party, then Hillary Clinton's going to be the next president, no question.
There's no. Why is this? Wait a minute. We got to stop this because
Yeah,
you keep
why-
saying
why
this,
is-
Danish. Why do you continue to push the narrative that her candidacy is a foregone conclusion? That her presidency is a foregone conclusion when it's not.
Wait,
at all.
wait, hold on. Like, you really think that she's going to be Bernie Sanders in a country where socialism is dirtier than Nazi?
It's really not as
But I mean,
dirty
at this
as you
point,
think it is.
capitalism, like at the level of capitalism we've been operating at, is fucking failing, and like the middle class is disappearing.
What is the
It just
what is
is.
the fire department? What is the public education system? What is the highway system? What is the fucking name any utility? You know what I mean? These are all social services. They're not socialism isn't this there's not this like specter, like it's not communism or Islamofascism. It's I think that fear is overblown. The American people
Fox News pushes that narrative pretty successfully every day because like they'll just
Which
be
is
like,
hard
look at
for
the-
me
like,
to understand.
Well, no, they won't push that hard. Like we're gonna be USSR, but they'll be like, look at what's happening to Europe, and that's what'll happen to the United States if you support a socialist candidate.
I will burn my vote before I vote for Hillary. I will vote
Fox
for Trump
News is like
before I vote for
NASCAR
Hillary.
and pro wrestling combined. It is the fucking most unfortunate thing to happen to journalism in the last 100 years.
Okay, if I step back and I can see that it's possible that Bernie Sanders is going to beat Hillary at this stage, which I don't think is, but who knows?
It's still early.
Like some scandal could happen, but even if that's the case, if Trump runs independent, he's going to split the Republican vote way more than he's going to split the Democrat vote, which will mean that a Democrat is going to for sure win the majority, no matter even if it's Bernie Sanders.
It's going to suck votes because he's going to take a lot of people from the Republican Party who are going to vote third party, and then it's just not going to help the Republicans at all.
No, that's why Bill Clinton beat George Bush, is because Ross Perot took 20% of the popular vote, and he didn't win a single electoral vote either.
Ross Perot took 20% of the popular vote, but I mean, look at the lead that Trump enjoys in the GOP primary. It's ridiculous. It's fucking monumental. He has like
Hillary's lead is bigger than his over Bernie.
That's because you can't trust the polling numbers. Like in this Huffington Post article that was written by H.A. Goodman talking about skewed polls, all of the polls that you're seeing where Bernie is basically non-existent are skewed to, I guess the data from the polling centers that they push out to the journalists is skewed in a way where only pre-selected, like curated pro-Hillary supporters data is pushed forward to the journalists, and you see the same disenfranchisement. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist here, but it's true. If you look at the coverage in the mass media, like it's almost non-existent for Bernie. It's like almost like 4-to-1 times you'll see Hillary's name somewhere in the media, and then you'll see like one mention of Bernie, and it's always kind of diminished and marginalized and kind of dismissed or regarded as like not realistic or something. Meanwhile, he's garnering these massive turnouts at rallies around the country.
It's the same thing that happened to Ron
Can't
Paul.
look at the polls.
Well, I want to say that Trump's getting the same benefit as Hillary is right now, kind of, isn't he?
Yeah, it's all fucked. What was it? What was it, Petey? You said today something about Bernie just hit the 2 million.
Bernie just hit 2 million individual campaign donations from 2 million individuals, and
average
at
of
the
$30 a piece.
And in Barack Obama's entire campaign, he only got to 1 million. So we're talking about like an order of magnitude more number of supporters, greater number of supporters for Bernie than Obama had during the entire course of his initial campaign. And as we know, history shows who won the 2008 campaign. It wasn't Hillary. It was fucking Obama. It's like a repeat of 2008 all over.
So what you're
again.
saying
Obama
is
had something
it's
that
proof
Hillary
that the
didn't
polls
have.
can't be trusted.
Wait, what did
It's
you say,
proof-
Zanish?
Hey, yeah, but Obama had his entire community action network that was already established to help him, like with that, like busing people, like the whole Acorn thing.
Uh-huh.
Like Obama had that, and I don't know that Bernie Sanders does or not, but I'm guessing probably.
Well, he has the millennial vote. I think there's going to be a lot of kids who don't vote. Like, I don't vote. Like, I haven't voted in like fucking 6 years. But I'm going to go register to vote for him. And it's mostly because I at least want to say that I fucking tried.
Well, let me ask a question. How many of you guys here would wish that it was Joe Biden who was running for the Democrats instead of Bernie or Hillary?
I wish Joe Biden would run in place of Hillary.
Well, here's the thing. Joe Biden has all the foreign policy experience, right? More
Well, I
than
mean, I just don't like Hillary. So, like, anybody, you could
Right.
put a potato in the place of Hillary, and I'd probably vote for the
Well,
potato.
wouldn't you say that Joe Biden is kind of like the Trump of the left, though? Like,
in what way?
he's
He's not as brash.
Dude, he lied about his entire education when he was running for president in 1988, straight face to the media for like 5 minutes. He went on about all these accolades and shit that he won, and none of it was true. That's pretty
How
brash.
the fuck is he the vice?
Maybe then. Maybe
That was
He's like the
maybe
Ben.
at that
He's
time.
more like the Ben Carson. He's more like the Ben Carson, where like as Ben Carson talks about snatching the horns off of unicorns and fucking raping demons and saving the world from communism, like while he was in high school and getting his fucking doctorate.
Hey,
at the
he
same
stabbed
time.
somebody and got a full ride scholarship to a free school known as West Point, which all Americans can get into free. He had a full ride scholarship, man. There was poll data. So if we look back historically, 2007 December. I want to get back to that Joe Biden comment, but I want to see in 2007 December, Gallup reported that Clinton maintains large lead over Obama nationally. So the polls, even historically, like you say, you can't really trust them because either one, they're skewed like the I don't know what the word is there. The way that they calculate them is skewed, or two, like they're just, you can't trust them as like a barometer for what the reality is actually going to be.
So wait a
Have
second.
any of you ever received like a poll phone call?
No.
Yeah, I have.
It's completely ridiculous. They ask you a spectrum of questions that is absolutely
Like what?
phenomenally
Like what
has nothing to do with anything. Your income, your relationship status, your
Because they want to know
Your
what
dick
class is
size.
voting for who.
yeah, but I was in the car with my friend and she's taking, I forget the name of the class, but it's a class all
She
about
hot?
polling. No.
Okay.
It's a class,
Kinda?
irrelevant.
Okay.
All about polling. And like she's
Mostly dick size though.
like she gets a
Yeah.
poll call and she's answering all the questions. She gets off the phone and I was like, wow, because it took like 25 minutes. I was like, that was ridiculous. And she was explaining how they asked the questions and the questions that they asked, and they asked 150 questions, but really they're gonna only do 3 polls off of it based off of 2 of the questions that you answered.
Mhm.
But they ask all these other questions to establish a demographic,
Right.
and then they fit it to match the poll.
And
so
anyone
when you're
that doesn't
talking about
fit that demographic gets weeded out. And it's
yeah,
like,
they
oh,
don't. They just don't include them in the poll.
we
So
just
if
got rid
you're
of 2 million Bernie supporters. Huh, that's
yeah,
weird.
so if you're CNN and you're running, or if you're you like Hillary and you're running a poll, you could very easily make a completely 100% accurate poll that has her ahead 5 bajillion points.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily represent what's going to happen in voter booths.
Mhm.
So I have to stop for a second here because why are you citing the difference between Hillary and Barack's numbers at this point in the campaign rather than right before the major primaries, like on the eve of the primaries? I think that would be way more telling as to how accurate or inaccurate they were.
Are you talking about the 2007 thing that I talked about?
Yeah, right.
Because
So I
that
think
was the December 2007 is to 2008 November, as December 2015 is to November 2016.
Yes, I understand why you're doing that, but what I'm saying though is that just because that gap was there at that time doesn't mean that that gap wasn't real because the end result 4 months later was different, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Right. So I want to see what the poll numbers were because we're talking
You
about
want
how
to see what the
inaccurate
poll
they are.
numbers are going to look like in
right
what?
before the primary.
Like next March or some shit?
Yeah, like right around March. Like, has the gap closed? Because Obama didn't like destroy Hillary in the primaries. Didn't he just barely win?
Yeah, we'd have to look at the numbers. That's an interesting point. Like, when did the turn happen? The thing is, like, all of the hallmarks of another Hillary failure are present, but it seems like everyone is kind of like selectively ignoring them.
Well, here's the other thing is that you have to consider the racial component to Barack beating Hillary too, which isn't going to be present in Hillary versus Bernie.
No, but an ideological component is, and that is that fucking the 1% of the top fucking billionaires own over fucking 90% of the wealth. And that's somehow, I think, for all, from any perspective,
because capitalism,
it's reasonable.
though, Ben.
That's unjust, though. Yeah, but I mean, capitalism is anyone can do like whatever they want in order to get a leg up and to improve their station. We don't have capitalism anymore. We have crony capitalism, which is when rich people get into positions of power and manipulate the system to disenfranchise everybody else down the row to not be able to get in. They climb the ladder and then pull it up with them after they get up.
Well, the reason the rich are getting richer is not because, I mean, it is because they're scumbags and they're stepping on the backs of the average citizen, but it's
Not
also
all
easier
of
to
them,
make.
but there are
Okay,
a lot.
but
Yeah.
generally speaking, but it's easy to make money when you already have money.
Yeah. When
That's
you start from
a
nothing.
small. If I could have a small
Compound
loan
interest,
of $1 million when I'm 50, I could be a billionaire. But I don't have $1 million. I have $100 fucking dollars, and you can't do shit with $100 because I need that to live.
But here's a question.
When you
though.
have money, you can make money.
How many people have squandered that small loan of $1 million that you don't hear about?
I mean, how many people
shitload.
get a loan of $1 million though?
Right.
But once
Well,
you've had it, once you've had it and you fail, then you just fail. Like, I think that's a fair. So give everyone $1 million, allow everyone to try to buy into their own hedge funds, and then if they fuck up, then they fuck up. I don't really think this.
This is like your idea for a more presidency. Everybody's got to get $1 million.
Just print $1 million.
The gambling
and
economy.
Give it to everybody.
Yeah.
And just see who wins.
Yeah.
You're gonna have like the shittiest types of people who just get lucky as fuck investing in some like new type of tampon, and they fucking somehow just become multi-billionaires off of this super absorbent fucking like
How did you
silicon
make your money
material.
on a new type of tampon? Oh, okay. Good to go. Fourth Reich, here we come. Here's
tampons,
a question
Fourth
I have
Reich,
for
life's
Zainish,
good.
though. Zainish, is there anyone... Is there in any kind of simulation or any way what would have to take place in order for you to vote for Trump?
Oh, jeez.
Like, what would need to happen? Would Hitler
Trump
need to come
versus
back
Hill
from the
Dog.
dead and run for president?
I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe if we like change the laws so that foreign nationals can run. And somehow Vladimir Putin was running for president against Trump.
Would you vote for Putin over Trump?
I mean, you can't argue with how much he's cleaned up Russia.
I mean, but like, how has he done it? And does it matter how he's done it? I don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
Killing the dirty people.
Kill all the dirty
He
people.
basically is just like, it's a giant gentrification scheme.
Oh, God.
I love it.
Like, as long as you're white and not gay, you're fucking good to go in Russia.
There are people blenders
That's what
in
America
Russia.
needs. That's what will make America great again.
This is exactly what Trump supporters are saying. Like,
Mass
this is what I'm afraid of.
persecution.
Yeah, Zainish, you say that it's not likely that like some like seriously violent repercussions could emerge as a result of a Trump victory. That he would become more moderate, and I don't know. Like, what if that's not the case?
Because he's still going to get, like, he's not going to get legislation through that's going to deport all the Muslims. It's just not going to happen. Right?
You can't do it by executive order.
No way.
No.
But here's
How?
something to think about too. Who would actually be running the country if Trump was president?
Yeah, well, let me
I
throw
don't
this
fucking
in.
know.
Like, who would really
Trump's
be running?
investors.
Who would really
Yeah,
be
but
running
how's
the
that different
country?
from anybody else?
It's
Trump
not.
would be under.
I think we can all agree the government's corrupt as fuck.
Trump has
Right.
such an ego. I think that he would think that he would be running the country.
Well, let me throw this
Yeah.
out. Let me frame it this way. So Barack Obama found out the hard way that even with all his charisma and charm, so one of the knocks against Obama is like he didn't do anything that he promised. He didn't close Guantanamo Bay. He passed the executive order to close Guantanamo Bay in his first batch, and the Democrats betrayed him and refused to fund it. And that's what would happen. Trump's going to reduce it saying, "I'm going to deport all Muslims," and who's going to give him the money to do it? Nobody.
Right.
And so
I
think
don't know,
it's going to be 4 years of nothing.
You can't mass deport anyone from the country. We couldn't do it. I mean,
know.
at the end,
It's
that
like
was one of the
killing the
main. That was one of the main ideas after the 13th Amendment was passed. What do we do with all these slaves? Because we don't really want them in the country. Let's deport them. And they couldn't come up with the money then. They won't come up with the money
they
now.
did. They did, and they sent them to Liberia. There's a huge documentary on that. You can see how that fucking turned out.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it was
Liberia,
only
right.
some
They
of them.
deported a shitload of slaves to fucking Liberia, and it was great until like
But how much is a
1980,
shit- how
and
much
then
is
the
a
whole thing
shitload?
collapsed.
It wasn't that
Enough
many.
to where
but
they can eat kids and shoot each other
It
for
was-
fucking years.
That was years later.
What was it, like 10,000, 50,000?
It was something like that. Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa movement. And
There was 4.5 million when the 13th Amendment passed. 4.5 million former slaves. So 10,000, that's nothing.
yeah.
And that probably cost $10
Yeah.
million dollars.
In any event, I think Zanish is right that he would never get the money to be able to fund something like that. But
It's not just that. He's not going to be able to get through. He's going to be a man without a party because
Yeah.
the Republican establishment, he's winning in spite of them. They're not going to work with him. Are you crazy?
wait a minute,
Like,
how much is the checks and balances thing still a factor? Because we've seen
Well-
like the emergence of a lot of executive power being consolidated in the executive branch in recent memory with George Bush's presidency,
right,
and being
but I
able
just
to act
gave you an
unilaterally.
example of Obama's biggest thing just not getting funded, and the executive order was useless.
Are you talking about the health care Obamacare?
No, I'm talking about closing Guantanamo Bay.
He tried to close it.
Yeah, but he didn't fight for it. He could have
He wouldn't have
vetoed
won.
their.
Well, no, he can't veto it. They just refuse to pass a bill to authorize the spending. You can't veto a bill that doesn't exist.
Yeah, but can't you close it by executive order? Can't you
No.
make some? You can't. The
no,
president-
because the House has total control over the budget. The president can either accept or reject the budget, and any money that the president wants to do anything outside of the budget has to come by a bill that they've passed to authorize the spending. Like with the Iraq War, if you remember, there was like a non-vote to extend funding.
I feel like I've seen this on an episode of The West Wing or House of Cards or something, where there was some money that the president did have access to that he could use in the event of
Like a
something
lockup.
Yeah, some way to.
Right. I mean, if he's
Are you
talking about
kidding me? Do
deporting
you not
all the
remember the
Mexicans,
government shutdown when we were in Japan and we didn't think
Oh,
we were going to
yeah.
get paid?
Oh yeah,
Everyone
that
was
was
like, we might not get
Fuck
fucking
no.
money, man.
If the house shuts
Right.
down, the house doesn't want to give you money, you ain't getting shit. Actually,
Right,
you might get literal shit in the mail. That's about it.
Right, right. And
Nice.
what I'm saying is true. It's like the mistake that people are making is thinking that just because Trump is winning the nomination amongst people, that the Republican establishment that's entrenched in Congress and the Senate has any interest at all in working with him. They're just gonna nope him for 4 years, like they did to Obama for 8.
And that's what's really crazy about the Obama thing too, is
Right.
everyone's so quick to jump. I'm not saying that Obama's made the best decisions. He's made questionable decisions. And it's like
Right.
no one's saying that that's not true. But a lot of the things good that he did try to do, the Republicans basically just fucking NBA swatted him down every time. So he looked like a fucking idiot because he couldn't get anything done.
Right,
And
but
that's
he
the
made the
fault
same.
of the fucking Congress. That has nothing to do with the president.
Have you
Right,
looked at? I mean, he got healthcare went through, but it's so fucked up.
They made him fucking do a bunch of bullshit to it.
They
think
yeah,
that was
they
the
made-
original
they-
plan.
He had to make all these concessions to it, and now it's basically garbage.
He made the
He's
same
forcing
mistake
people
Bill
to pay
Clinton
for it.
did. Bill Clinton made the same mistake. Bill Clinton won in '92, and he blew his entire wad
Right.
on trying to get health care passed. And like the next 6 years of his presidency, we're getting almost nothing done. The only thing that saved Bill Clinton's presidency from absolute humiliation was the internet exploding in 1996, 97, and 98, sending the economy into the fucking stratosphere.
I thought you were going to say that blowjob, but
Oh, well,
That
I
as
mean,
well. He
That was
blew
a really
load.
long,
I have a-
that
That
was
actually
a
ended
really
up on
long-
her dress, actually.
Really long-winded way to say he blew his load on Monica Lewinsky's face. But
dude, here's my thing about Hillary Clinton in the way of blowing loads. So here's a good way to judge Hillary Clinton. Here's how effective I think she's going to be.
You mean
she
not
couldn't
blowing
even ride a dick good enough to keep her husband from fucking getting his dick sucked by another dude. What makes you think that she's
Another
going to have
dude?
the quality of work? Basically,
Wait, time
another
out.
dude. Look at Monica Lewinsky. She's like a linebacker.
that's
But-
hard.
But
Oh,
what makes you think that
we're
what makes you
terrible.
think that she's going to have a quality of work that is going to fucking keep this country or bring it back to where it was before, or
Because
make
she
it
says
better
so.
even? Because she says so. Because she is a woman, and that is the best way. And if she was, here's the thing: I don't have a problem with having a woman for a president if you're qualified or you're honest or you're fucking actually interested in making the country better. But she graduated from law school. She's a fucking lawyer. That's all she's ever been. That's all she is.
I agree with
That
all
makes
those
her
points.
more. That makes her more qualified than Trump to run the country.
I don't
And she
think
can't
so.
run it.
I don't
She
think we
can't
need
fucking. She can't ride a good dick, dude.
We
Like,
don't need a lawyer and a career politician, I think, anymore in office. We need someone that's fun, and then of course that's an argument against Bernie. But we need someone who's fundamentally different in some way, either ideologically, with their financial fiscal policy, or whatever their foreign policy. In the case of like someone like Rand Paul, but we don't need
Trump
someone
isn't
who's.
it.
Trump isn't it, but I mean, he's more it than Hillary. That's what I'm getting at. A dynastic politician is the last thing that our country needs. We don't need dynastic politicians running the show. I don't know if I have a stick in my mind because I'm just against monarchy and I see
you
dynastic
just want someone to
politicians.
shake it the fuck up.
Yeah, I need somebody to shake it the fuck up. And I'd rather
but
burn
this
it
is-
down than hand it to someone who thinks that they're just like they have heaven's mandate.
So
Because
one
they're
second.
gonna get it.
and is backed by the banks
So,
who hate your guts.
but I would also say that the best way to destroy dynastic politics is to let it run everything into the ground and burn it down that way. Because if you put in Trump and he burns it to the ground, then everybody's going to be like, "See, the dynastic shit was better," and we're going to go back to that permanently.
Yeah, but the dynastic politics never fully run it into the ground. That's the thing. That's the reason. Like, that's why there will be no change with dynastic politicians, is because they always maintain it. They always keep it burning and just eke through and keep the status quo and maintain things as they are. We need true disruption. We need politicians that understand disruption and embrace technology and science and the way that things are going, the inexorable grinding forward of the gears of progress. We need people that know that thing and represent that. And we don't have it in a Hillary Clinton or a Jeb Bush. We just don't. It's funny
Right.
when I hear Jeb Bush talk about, what we're gonna do is first we're gonna get money out of money out of Washington. It's like I'm looking at you. You are a third generation, not third generation, because his
Right.
brother and him same generation. But I'm looking at him. He's like the third member of a family running for the highest office in the land. For him to tell me that he wants to get corruption out of Washington, I
You
laugh
are
at
the
it.
corruption
I can't
in
even-
Washington.
Yeah, I'm like, you are the corruption in Washington. Oh, so you're gonna suicide. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but if something happened and everyone else died, and the only people that could possibly run for president were Trump and Jeb Bush, I'm still not voting for Trump.
Yeah, see, Benny
Who are you
says
gonna
that.
vote for?
He says that with a gigantic ocean between him and Trump.
Yeah, I do say that. I have I have that safety. I have that buffer zone. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I'm not voting for Hillary under no circumstances. I will take a vote away from her. I will give it to a third party candidate or write Bernie in.
So, I mean, do you
Dude,
think
how
that-
crazy would that be?
do you think that
Everyone
Trump could
writes in
attack
Bernie.
Japan?
Say again?
Do you think Trump could attack Japan? He's like, I want World War II retribution.
Oh, he did say something. He made it a point in the debate. He mentioned Japan and China in the same breath.
Wow.
Didn't he
Imagine-
also say that he wanted to fucking kill ISIS and then kill all of their family members also?
Yeah, he was.
He said, "We
And
are going to
don't-
destroy them." He's talking like a Sith Lord. He's like,
Don't
"We will
forget-
destroy
Yeah,
our
man.
enemies."
Don't
He
forget,
is.
he also wants to bang his daughter.
Oh, there's that too. He's definitely
dude, I was thinking
Slytherin.
about that earlier. I forgot to bring
Trump
it up. He's like, my
rides for
daughter is. If she
Slytherin.
wasn't my daughter, she'd be hot.
Yeah.
No, it's not even that. It's not even if she wasn't my daughter, she'd be hot. It's my daughter's hot. I would date her if I wasn't her father.
You know, I think that's true of Hulk Hogan too.
He's gonna have a fucking sex robot that looks like his daughter.
I'd
With a
rather have Hulk
Furby
Hogan.
inside.
But at least it's okay. It's
Just
probably not
saying,
even actually his
I mean,
daughter.
his daughter is really hot. I would definitely.
I mean,
wouldn't-
she's 7.
Wait, what?
Okay,
6,
a
7.
7 in fucking what world? Because I know Georgia is fucking
On the
rampant
fuck-
with like 3s
Okay,
to her 7.
for those just tuning in, we're not talking about age. When someone says she's 7, we're not saying she's actually 7. He's saying on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 7.
she's like a
Hold on.
7.
Let
She's
me-
like a
let me-
7 in fucking
Let me pull up a
California.
picture of her and I'll tear it apart.
No, she's hot. She's definitely hot.
She's hot
What's
as
her name?
fuck.
So the
Ivanka?
whole call me daddy fantasy definitely holds. But if she was my actual daughter, no, there's like I don't know. There's a distinction there. Obviously, you know, you can't allow it to become a neurosis. Zanish, we've talked about this, where
Yeah.
like parents who like the slut shaming, how that manifests as a result of like a father being
Embarrassed about his feelings for his daughter.
embarrassed about his feelings for his daughter or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that can turn into a neuroses. But
He should be embarrassed about his feelings for his fucking daughter.
She has
yeah,
some pictures where she's a 7, Ben.
what? No, they don't exist.
She has
Look,
like a couple where she has
I'll
like
tell
a
you-
5 head.
She's a 10.
I'll tell you why she's a 7. She's a 7 because she has money, which means she doesn't actually look like this on Saturday morning when you wake up.
Yeah, true.
Boom, 7.
Yeah, she probably looks more like beef jerky.
Esmeralda.
I'm not sure which one's his daughter because I typed in. Okay, let me see
Looks
that.
like
Because there's another
Kids-
girl showing up, and one of them looks like a
Ivanka.
fucking Mongolin, and the other, which is a
Ivanka.
made-up animal I just made up. Ivanka. I know Ivanka, but okay. There's like multiple pictures
the
when you
one.
type in Trump's daughter.
What if
It's
Trump?
Ivanka. Tiffany's.
Oh, Ivanka, his
Oh,
ex-wife.
It's Ivanka, and she's attractive in every single photograph that I'm looking at. So I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Wait, it wasn't Ivanka.
Okay,
his-
okay.
just-
I was looking
what
at different
a-
pictures. She's fucking 10. 10, 10, 10, 10,
Yeah,
10.
Giant
she's 10.
You're good. I was seeing a different picture.
She's got a bird nose though. That's like the only thing.
A
You
little
gotta
bit, but still
automatically
just.
take off. You gotta automatically take off 2 points for money and 1 point for everything where it's a posed picture.
2 points for money.
Ooh, she
2
got one
points
with blue
for
hair.
money.
Oh,
Whoa!
about that.
Where's
Imagine-
that one? I need you to link me that.
Did you see that picture of her next to the
science.
pole where she's holding the flag?
No.
Yeah, I saw that one. Let me see.
I'm on
She
Google
has some
Image
pretty
Search now. I'm
patriotic
looking at
backgrounded pictures.
Yeah, hold
every
on.
image.
You have to look at this picture right here.
Yeah, she's for sure a 10. I don't know who that possum I was looking at earlier.
mean,
was,
she's
but
a
she had
10 when you
5
find-
head.
She's a
Look at
10
this.
when you see her next to Trump, for
What do you
sure.
think? What do you think?
Oh,
of
yeah,
that?
Nah,
definitely.
she's a 10, bro.
Ringo Starr is a 10 when he's next to Trump. I mean, let's be honest.
If you had to fuck Ringo Starr or Donald Trump, who would you fuck?
Ringo
Suicide's
Starr,
not an option.
even if I didn't have a choice.
If I was
Duh.
if I was the Democratic nominee and I was debating Trump, I would just start reading his tweets back and forth with Rosie O'Donnell instead of debating.
Oh, does he just like tweet it to Rosie O'Donnell? I forgot. Wasn't he like calling her a cow and shit at
Yeah,
some
he's
point?
like, she's a fat, disgusting pig. She should be like.
I mean, okay, I'm revising my commentary on Ivanka Trump. Yes, her face, she is strikingly gorgeous, but her body is like she's pretty brick house. She's like, there's not much curve there in the waist. Like it's
she got
it's like kind
her
of just
boobs
goes
are
flat
great,
down.
dude.
You might want to curb these comments, Ben, because they could get you killed when Trump bombs Japan.
Oh God, no! Please
Yeah,
don't target
right.
me.
He's like, whose
He's like,
daughter's
"You're gonna hit
boxing
only-
now?
I
Only
said that
nobody
her
hit on
face
my-
was
No, only
attractive.
I can hit
God
on my
damn it!
daughter.
Nobody's
Only I
fucking
can
my
hit on-
daughter except me.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
It's like only I can hit on my daughter. God damn it.
Yeah, he did make those comments where he spoke of Japan in the same breath as China. Like the Japanese were
Yeah, but Trump
taking
probably-
advantage of the United States, and in many respects, actually, there's some truth to that. Like,
I have to
I mean,
ask
she
you
could
a
do some
question.
squats.
this is an important question that
Go.
nobody's talked about.
Send
Who
it.
realistically is going to be willing to be Trump's running mate? And will that
Cruz?
sink his candidacy?
Cruz is
Cruz
already.
Ted Cruz would do it.
Ted Cruz has been trying actually to cozy up to Trump, and it came out in the last debate. He was like,
Really?
they were in a hotel room together or something. You know?
I think Ted Cruz hurts him more than it helps him. I think Ted Cruz upsets a lot of people.
I don't think Ted Cruz.
No one likes Ted Cruz.
That's what I mean.
I don't
It's like a
Ted
well-known
Cruz.
fact.
He's plastic face. He looks like he's had a face replacement surgery. Like his face doesn't look like it belongs on his face.
Did he get attacked
Have
by
you
a
looked-
chimp?
Have
He's
you
got a
seen
Nixon
pictures of
nose.
him when he was in college? It looks like that fucker that you don't want a room with.
Oh, that guy.
Like Count Bofula.
I
I don't want to say his name directly, but we can use pseudonyms of the name.
College
Bobzilla.
picture of Ted Cruz. Let me
Oh,
look-
it's the
just laugh
best.
at this.
You just don't want him in your fucking room.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like greasy.
here he is
doesn't
with the
shower.
He's smoking the cigar.
I can
Oh, he's
see
such a piece
Trump.
of shit.
I could see Trump picking some sort of like writer Democratic to
Right.
pull votes from Hillary.
Well,
I mean,
what
that
if
would be smart. The only usefulness that a vice president has is to help the president get elected, and then they're fucking useless until someone dies. I.e. the
Oh,
I think they
I don't-
fulfill like a
They-
like a significant.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's like a. They serve like an actual purpose. There's like the
Right.
the
They
office
do a
doesn't
lot of
exist.
diplomacy, like state to state level talks, are handled a lot by vice presidents in
Yeah.
conjunction.
Yeah, But
The
when was the
secretaries.
last time you heard anything about Biden?
That's
In the
because
last 8
Biden.
years-
I read an
discussed
article
his
about him
kid.
in GQ.
Biden
like 2
did a
years
lot
ago.
until his kid died. That's probably the real reason why he didn't run.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like he was just dealing with his kid dying for like the last 2 years, and then it happened. So I mean,
You know how I was criticizing Hillary as being the foregone conclusion and everything? Why is it there's been like this looming specter that's kind of exists in the shadows in the interstices of this debate is like, what about anarchism? What about voluntary participation, and what about the principle of non-aggression and anarchy? What about that? Like, where does that play in? Like, we have all this huge circus, this huge campaign circus to elect the next president of the United States. Who says that we need a president? Why can't we just elect, mayors and governors of our states and just call it that?
Because only 20% of the population even shows up to the polls anyway. So it's not that people can't govern themselves. It's just they don't even fucking want to.
Yeah. Is it necessary, though? Does it fulfill like an actual function that is a requirement for
I have a way to get
functioning
100%
of civil
voter.
society?
Oh, sorry, I lagged there. Didn't mean to talk.
How do you get 100% turnout?
Okay, so we just put up a picture of the two candidates on Facebook, and they just click a like on which candidate they want.
Then someone will just hack it.
Right? That would make sense.
But like even still, I mean, eventually the whole election's going to be digitalized anyway.
So
Probably
if
should be.
that were
People
the
have
case,
accused it about it being hacked anyway.
you're talking about
that
you're
whole
talking about
trick.
getting rid of the electoral college. The way that we select the president right now is by no means direct democracy. You're talking
No,
about
it's bullshit.
direct democracy. Popular vote, which in that case, we never would have gone into Iraq because fucking,
Yeah.
although we might have gone to war with Iran, because fucking Al Gore would have won the election in 2000.
Yeah, but he probably would have lost the election in 2004.
Yeah, that's true. You can
Like,
only
because his
you-
response to 9/11 would have been underwhelming, especially with Bill Clinton's underwhelming response to World Center Trade
you're
Center
saying that
93.
no, you're saying if 9/11 were to even happen under a Gore presidency, it might not have.
Right, that's true. That is.
I
It
guess
probably
you could.
wouldn't have been worth it for Al Qaeda to try to do it without a response. But I think that I don't know. I don't know how it played into their overall strategy to get the response from Bush that they did. I don't know if it overwhelmed them and it was more than they were expecting, or if they got exactly what they wanted.
Yeah,
It's hard to say.
I'm sorry for Gore. I mean, you can only invent the internet once, Mr. Gore. I'm sorry. Apologies.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, if Al Gore had come out of retirement and tried to run this time, how could he have done?
No, he's graduated to the wizened Olympian heights of
Right.
the aged statesman. Like he has the gray beard and everything now. Like, meanwhile, fucking Joe Biden is like 80. So I don't know how that works. Like, I guess you can still be in office. It doesn't matter until you're like Thurman Stromgood, like inventor of the KKK.
Yo,
like, what's up?
Can we talk about, now that age was mentioned, and I just remembered this, can we talk about the letter that Donald Trump's doctor wrote saying how he's basically a fucking Olympian?
What?
Is that a real thing?
Did you see this?
I remember him saying something like he was in good shape. I don't remember him saying he was an
Oh my
Olympian.
god. Pull it up. Find the fucking letter. It's first off, it's a letter from Trump's doctor, something Bornstein. And
Bornstein.
and
Donald Trump unveiled a letter from his personal doctor.
It starts off like this: "To whom my concern."
Yeah.
And just goes downhill from there.
I have been the personal physician of Mr. Donald J. Trump since 1980. His previous physician was my father, Dr. Jacob Bornstein. Over the past 39 years, I am pleased to report that Mr. Trump has had no significant medical problems, except that herpes in 98. Mr. Trump has had a recent complete medical examination that showed only positive results. Actually, his blood pressure, 110/65, and laboratory test results were astonishingly excellent. Over the past 12 months, he has lost at least 15 pounds. Mr. Trump takes 81 micros MC of aspirin daily and a low dose of S-statin. His PSA score is 0.15. His penis size is 7 inches. His physical strength and stamina are extraordinary. Mr. Trump has suffered no form of cancer, has never had a hip, knee, or shoulder replacement, or any other orthopedic surgery. His only surgery was an appendectomy at age 10. His cardiovascular status is excellent.
Never worked,
Exactly. He has no history of ever using alcohol or abusing drugs or tobacco products. If elected, Mr. Trump, I can state unequivocally, will be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency.
He sounds like Kim Jong-un.
Put the picture.
Like if they were fucking, he is the white Kim Jong-il.
Let me tell you something. That whole thing is bullshit.
Link the picture. Link the picture of the doctor. They were
Wait a
meant
minute,
for each other.
Maybe it's
Shut the
actually
fuck
just
up.
blowing lines of coke before he goes on to his fucking debates.
They read that on the Daily Show the other day, and immediately afterward, when it said the line about he's never used alcohol or tobacco products,
What the fuck?
it was immediately a picture put up of him holding a glass of champagne and smoking a cigar.
Have you seen the doctor? Oh, people got to see this. This is so
Yeah.
What's the doctor look like?
Trevor was making fun of it on the Daily Show because he was like, the guy didn't, it
don't
wasn't
like Trevor.
signed. He just put a picture.
I don't
And
like
the
Trevor.
picture was,
What the fuck
God.
is this?
It says Trump to release medical records. Says it will show perfection.
It basically like this guy could have been like the lead singer of Poison.
Yeah. I like, you said he was like the Kim Jong-il of America, right? It's true. Like, Kim Jong-il, like, shot a hole-in-one on an 18-hole golf course on every hole or whatever.
On every single hole without trying.
Yeah, like, he invented
was so
peanut
skilled.
butter. Like, it took,
No,
like,
that was his first time ever playing golf too, ever.
Right, exactly. Like, and there's all these plaques. Like, when you tour North Korea, there's like, this is where Kim Jong-il stood for a second and ate a Lotto ice cream sandwich. Like, and they have like it, like the wrapper of the sandwich,
Yeah.
like behind glass, random
And
places.
it's like there. He's like, he bit off this one time.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, your country's empty. He's going to come back to that spot again more than likely. Yeah. There's really not a lot of shit for him to go see.
So, Mark Maron is Trump's doctor?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this guy looks like.
Yeah, that's what this guy looks like, right? This is Mark Maron. This is probably Mark Maron's dad. Didn't Mark Maron
This
say
whole
his
thing is a
dad was
publicity stunt set up by Mark Maron.
Yeah, exactly. To get him on as an interview. I couldn't believe that he got POTUS on his fucking shitty podcast. Like, really, like, I guess disaffected, whiny rich guys are, like, en vogue, like, in terms of podcasting. I guess
people
it's
are like super into fucking are super into him, man.
his voice
like, and his
is
show
so
is
annoying.
funny.
I
Like,
tried
I've actually
listening.
watched his show. It's like his real like TV show. Actually, pretty funny. Like his podcast, I've listened to it, and like I don't know, man. It's not that I don't like him. I just like it's not my thing.
It's his voice, right? It's got to be his voice.
I'm just too much of a bro, I think.
Oh, maybe
Like
that
there's
is.
too much of a bro streak percentage in me, and
He's
like
too,
I'm not.
he's too intellectual.
It's not good. Not too intellectual.
He's not even
I
really
just
that
fucking,
intellectual.
Like Rogan is kind of more up my alley.
Yeah, I like Rogan
Like,
too.
Yeah.
Rogan
you're kind
for
of a bro
president.
too.
I
You
don't know
can't
how
really
that would
shake
work.
it. You were in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, basically.
It's-
Got
yeah.
the bro streak.
It just happens.
The bro runs through you.
And you can't get rid of it. It's just
No.
there.
Yeah, you try and.
It runs
Trying
through
to get
you
it out.
over and over and over again, no
Sounds
matter
so
how
gross.
tired you are.
People are getting the impression that the Marine Corps is just like a fucking seaman warrior cult from like.
Well, I mean, it really is.
Don't
No,
lie
It's just a
to
bunch of bros.
No,
It's pretty
See,
much just a bunch of bros.
we need to wrap this. What time are we? We're at 59 minutes. Boom, we did it.
All right.
Excellent. Final
show.
words, Zanish.
Yeah, I feel like the Trump medical thing is incomplete because it mentions nothing about prolapses, one way or the other.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I want to know if my president's butthole is falling out.
You think he gets
Yeah, I know.
pegged?
If you're gonna give me your medical record, you at least need to tell me whether or not you have a prolapsed anus.
Right,
I mean, it
exactly.
didn't mention a semen volume or viscosity, anything.
Yeah, we need to know.
Weird.
See, we have these things on Putin. Like, we'll get stats for days about Putin's virility.
Right,
And I
yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's important. I think that's the
And
most.
the fact that his anus has never prolapsed.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't
wonder
have
what-
an anus. He doesn't.
And if it
Yeah, he
had
doesn't.
prolapsed-
Or a belly
It's
button.
just a robot, KGB robot.
And
KGB
if it had
bot.
prolapsed, it would have went through the heart of a bear.
Yeah. What else we got? Last words, Trailer Park Master Chef.
Come check me out on my Instagram. I'm starting to post new stuff again. I melted some chocolate and did some fruit stuff today. We're packing it up for Christmas. It's gonna be good times.
Nice, excellent.
Pretty
Check
fun.
out the blog post, also Trailer Park Master Chef recipes on getbusypodcast.com. And Harrelson Coleman, final words.
If you haven't decided who you're voting for yet, and you're thinking Trump or Hillary, go do some research on Bernie. Just do some research,
Burn dog.
Just read, man. It's good shit.
Burn dog.
and
It's
don't read
entertaining,
it
too.
from CNN, Fox, MSNBC, or NBC. Read it from
Basically
His
everybody.
website.
Like,
His
go on
website. Just go to his
Wikipedia.
website, berniesanders.org.
Yes,
That's
watch
fucking
some
everything
videos.
about him.
Good to go.
Go to
All
a
right.
rally.
I want to thank everyone for listening. If you were entertained or educated by this podcast, please click the PayPal link and donate. We are run 100% by listener donations. Thank you very much. Thanks to the panel.
Fun times.
Yeah,
Oh,
Panel.
that was our cue.
Outstanding. All right, take
panel
care,
me,
folks.
baby. Panel me
Good to
nice
see-
and
hey, it was good to see you, Harrelson, by the way. It's been a
World
long
peace.
time, man. It was nice to talk to you.
Night.